Okay, if you saw my last video where I ranked my top 10 point guards in the NBA, on today's video, we're going to be breaking down my top 10 shooting guards in the NBA today. Now, it's a lot of players that's not going to make this list. You got guys like Fred VanVleet, Caris LeVert, even a guy like Buddy Hield. Listen, the NBA shooting guard position is loaded. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you my top 10 shooting guards. We're going to start with number 10 and go all the way down to the best shooting guard in the NBA today. Man, let's get into it.
Are you
Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal. Now, if you're new on this channel here, you're going to be getting my passionate and in-depth analysis on the hottest NBA and college basketball topics. Listen, I'm a ballaholic. I'm absolutely addicted to basketball. Now, just like everybody, I've got my own opinions. But if you like opinions that are backed by facts, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, but also be sure that you hit that bell notification and turn it on to all notifications. That way YouTube will update you whenever I get new videos out, which is every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, we're going to dive right into the beginning of this video because we're going to go from number 10 all the way to the best shooting guard in the NBA today. Now, coming in at number 10, listen, I'm going with the former Laker, the Timberwolves shooting guard, DAngelo Russell. DAngelo Russell right now is having a third straight year of averaging 20 plus points per game. The smooth lefty who can create for others. Listen, I had to put him in my top 10 above some of the other guys because you got to remember, when he was in Brooklyn, he did make an all-star team. So I got to give this young man some credit. Definitely comes in at number 10. Now, coming in at number 9. Okay, now we're going to switch over to a guy who doesn't just do it on the offensive end, he's elite on both ends of the court. That's Victor Oladipo, man. He's having an amazing comeback season after dealing with so many injuries in Indiana. Now I think he's found a home in Houston. In Houston, him over there with John Wall and Wood and Cousins, man, these boys are over there. They're playing elite defensively. And you got to tip your hat and you got to give a lot of credit to Victor Oladipo. So Oladipo comes in at number 9. Now, moving over to number 8. I gotta go with Zach LaVine, man. Zach LaVine for the Chicago Bulls. These boys are playing better than a lot of people would expect it. Career high for Zach LaVine, 27 points per game. I think he's shooting like 39% from the three. Like, Zach LaVine is taking his game to another level, and that's why the Chicago Bulls are in the middle of that pack over there in the Eastern Conference. Now, moving over to number 7, I gotta go with DeMar DeRozan, man. The Spurs and the DeRozan experiment hasn't really been the best as of yet. But listen, you got to give DeRozan credit, man. 8 straight years of averaging 20 plus points per game, and he's shooting a career high from the three-point line, shooting 35% per game. So I got to put DeRozan in my top 7 as far as shooting guards in the NBA. You got to put DeMar DeRozan in that list. So let's go ahead and switch over to number 6. At number 6, man, I got to go with CJ McCollum, man. Listen, this Portland Trailblazers team, we know it's led by Dame Lillard. We get that. But CJ McCollum is probably one of the most underrated players in the game, man. Listen, career highs, giving you about, 27 points per game. He's shooting 47% from the field, 44% from three. Like, he, across the board, is having an amazing offensive season. So I got to put him there at number 6. But then think about that. If he's coming in at 6, now we're down to the top 5 shooting guards. The top 5 in the entire NBA. Coming in at number 5, I got to go with Devin Booker. To me, this is where you talk about the different tiers. This is where you start that top tier when it comes to the shooting guard position. Devin Booker has this Phoenix Suns team in the thick of the Western Conference playoffs. Right now, they're 9-8. Now, you got to give Chris Paul credit for the success that the Phoenix Suns are having. But their best player, without question, should be Devin Booker, and he's balling. The jumper is silky smooth. We've seen what he can do on losing teams and all the points he can put up. Now his points have come down a little bit, but his team is winning. And so you got to give Devin Booker a lot of credit. Okay, so next up at number 4, I'm going with Bradley Beal. You might as well just call him Bradley Buckets because this man is leading the NBA in scoring at 35.4 points per game. Now, granted, the Wizards stink, and I got to admit, I didn't expect him to be this bad. But Bradley Beal is doing everything he can, especially from an offensive standpoint. I mean, how much more can you ask from one player to do on the offensive end? He's getting it done. So I got Bradley Beal, who's one of the elite scorers in the NBA, a 3-level scorer. I got to put Bradley Beal at number 4. Now, that gets us into the top 3. Now, this right here is where you start going from that top tier to the cream of the crop. Coming in at number 3, I got to go with Donovan Mitchell, man. This right here is an elite two-way guard. Unlike Bradley Beal, Donovan Mitchell brings it on the defensive end as well. Listen, Donovan Mitchell has the Utah Jazz with the best record in the NBA, sitting at 14-4. Like, that right there speaks itself. It's hard to not have him higher than number 3, but I gotta pay respect to some of the guys that I put at the top 2. But coming in at 3, I gotta give it to Spider-Man, Donovan Mitchell. So you may ask, if Mitchell is 3, who's coming in at number 2? Now, this right here may be a little bit of a controversial pick, but even though he hasn't played not one game this season, I gotta give the nod to Klay Thompson, because Klay Thompson is the greatest shooting guard shooter in the game. Like, there shouldn't be any question. There's no shooting guard who's a better shooter than Klay Thompson, but he doesn't just shoot the ball. He's an elite defensive guard as well. One of the best two-way players in the game. Now, granted, we know he suffered injury last season. We understand he suffered injury to start this season, so he's out. So yes, that definitely hurts his value, but he's a champion, man. It's how many shooting guards on this list have won a championship? It's only him. It's only Klay Thompson. So I couldn't drop him any lower than number 2, despite him not playing one game in the season. Like I said, I know that's going to be a little controversial, but Klay Thompson is number 2. So who's number 1 then? Shouldn't really be a question. I got to go with the bearded one, man. James Harden is still the best shooting guard in the NBA. Despite what you may think about him, how you may feel about his fit with the Brooklyn Nets, or his leadership with Houston Rockets, whatever you may want to call it. We're talking about an MVP, man. We're talking about a guy who's led the NBA in scoring last couple seasons, and now he's switched his game up to now he's leading the NBA in assists, and this is the second time he will have led the NBA in assists if this continues to maintain his 11.1 assists per game average that he has. Listen, you can't knock James Harden for the talent. He's one of the most creative, one of the most elusive, one of the most mysterious ball handlers in the NBA, one of the craftiest players the game has ever seen. You got to give him credit for that. And so when you look at the combination of his facilitating, his playmaking, his shooting, his ability to draw fouls and get to the basket for easy baskets, listen, man, you can't get better at the shooting guard position than James Harden. So that's my top 10. But I want to hear your top 10. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree or do you disagree? Let me know who is your top 10 shooting guards. What did I get right and what did I get wrong? Listen, if you missed any of my previous videos where the last video was breaking down my top 10 point guards, go ahead and click the box right here and let me know what you think about that list. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, make sure that y'all stay safe in the streets. General Hannibal X, and I'm out. Peace.